Welcome to the 7-Minute Scholar. I'm Jahan Grist, and I'm here to make you an instant expert on the topic at hand. But what I really want to do is make you curious enough to learn more, and I'll come back to that in 7 minutes. Today's topic is the now controversial statues of Confederate war heroes. If you've ever visited the southern states, you've almost certainly walked straight into a statue of Robert E. Lee, Jefferson Davis, or Stonewall Jackson. And of course, that's the problem dividing us. A recent MSN poll reported that 71% of Democrats wanted the statues taken down from the government and university sites where they were located, while 87% of Republicans disagreed, let them stay. In short, the country is split on what to do with statues of the chief defenders of the Confederacy. And then there are the out-and-out racists, like the Ku Klux Klan and neo-Nazis, who are happy to attack African Americans, Jewish Americans, or anyone else they hate. They memorialize the romanticized lie of the supposedly noble slaveholding South and the Jim Crow era that followed. So how do American Jews today gain some perspective on all this? Maybe our American past can help us out. Now, this may come as a surprise to you, but as many as 10,000 Jews served in the Confederate Army, and they served bravely. There was Adolf Proskauer, a recent immigrant from Poland who fought at Seven Pines, Chancellorsville, Gettysburg, and Spotsylvania. Wounded at least 3 times, he just couldn't kill this guy. Then there was Louis Leon, also a recent immigrant, this time from Germany, who was one of the few survivors from his brigade who fought at Gettysburg. Now, he was real hardcore, and 50 years after the battle, he had this to say in his memoirs: "I still say our cause was just, nor do I regret one thing that I have done to cripple the North." But there's one Confederate who in some ways topped them all. Judah Benjamin was born in the West Indies, grew up in South Carolina, and made his way to New Orleans, where he also made his fortune as an innovative sugarcane plantation owner with 140 slaves. He went on to become a brilliant attorney, and that led to winning a United States Senate seat, only the second Jew in American history to achieve this office. He worked with, and sometimes fought with, all the Senate greats of his age, Stephen Douglas, Sam Houston, and others. And when a Senator Jefferson Davis challenged his integrity on the Senate floor, Judah challenged him to a duel. Fortunately, the two of them made up before the guns were taken out. Now, when Abraham Lincoln was elected president in 1860, Judah Benjamin joined fellow Southern senators in resigning from that body. His farewell speech on December 30th, 1860, ranks as one of the great pieces of Senate oratory. Here are his words: "What may be the fate of this horrible contest, none can foretell. But this much I will say: you may carry desolation into our peaceful land, and with torch and firebrand you may set our cities in flames. You may do all this and more, but you will never subjugate us." When Jefferson Davis became the Confederacy's president, he made Judah Benjamin his Attorney General in 1861, then Secretary of War in 1862, and finally Secretary of State. Now, along the way, Judah appeared on the Confederacy's $2 bill. As Secretary of State, Judah Benjamin led the effort to tempt Britain and France into recognizing the Confederacy. But when the Union gained the upper hand in the Civil War, Lord Palmerston and Napoleon III chose not to take the bait, in part because neither really could stomach recognizing a slave-holding nation. Knowing this, Judah Benjamin played his last card. The only way the South could survive would be to free at least those slaves who agreed to fight for the Confederacy. Jefferson Davis and Robert E. Lee reluctantly signed on. In February 1865, Judah Benjamin gave the greatest speech of his life to to a crowd of 10,000 in Richmond, and he sold them all on the impossible. Here are his words. Let us say to every Negro who wishes to go into the ranks on condition of being made free, go and fight, you are free. My own Negroes have been to me and said, Master, set us free and we will fight for you. We'd rather fight for you than for the Yankees. But by this time, February of 1865, it was too late to save the Confederacy. 2 months later, Robert E. Lee surrendered at Appomattox. Just before Union forces took Richmond, Judah Benjamin made his escape all the way to Britain, where in 1866 he was admitted to the British bar and ended his days as a distinguished legal scholar of English law. Considering all that he did and tried to do for the Confederacy, you'd think somebody in the South would have put up a statue of the Confederacy's most famous Jew. So why not? Latent anti-Semitism among Southerners, maybe. Rumors that Benjamin was gay. The fact that he never drew blood in battle. Or perhaps because he fled the Confederacy, never to return. Well, take your pick. But Robert Rosen, distinguished attorney, a historian, and author of the Jewish Confederates, recently said this about Benjamin. He was the most successful Jewish figure in American politics until Louis Brandeis. If there were a statue, I'd defend it. Maybe I'll build a statue. But Rosen's response is interesting and frank, so I'll share mine. I'm the great-grandson of a Confederate corporal, William Grist. In 1864, at 15 years of age, he shot off the right thumb of a Yankee in battle. Fortunately, they both survived the war and later met again after the war to reconcile. They ended up shaking hands, the Yankee, of course, minus his right thumb. As an historian, I favor moving the statues off government and university grounds and building regional museums to house them, offering a factual instead of a romanticized appraisal of their importance. So what do you think? Want to learn more about Judah Benjamin and his times? No problem. Try out Eli Evans' masterful biography, Judah Benjamin, the Jewish Confederate. And for a recent take on Judah Benjamin and the Confederate statue controversy, go online for Ari Feldman's great article in the August 20th, 2017 issue of The Forward. Whatever your opinion on this hot topic, open and honest dialogue trumps hate speech. So let's keep this civil. Thanks for joining me for the Lehrhouse 7-Minute Scholar, and I'll see you soon.